Scene opens with a stark, minimalist graphic of a hot air balloon, its fabric showing glowing cracks. The sound of high wind and stress material is heard. Stop trying to love harder. It's a critical design flaw. You're treating a structural integrity problem with a thrust solution. When the very envelope of your being has been compromised, applying more pressure, more love, more effort, more intensity doesn't create lift. It accelerates systemic failure. You are redlining your engine, convinced that more power is the answer, when in reality, the micro-tears in your fuselage are about to rip you apart mid-flight. The problem isn't your capacity to love. The problem is the compromised architecture you're asking to contain it. The system itself requires re-engineering. Welcome back to the Manifestation Flight Academy. I'm Captain Leanne. We don't do therapy here. We re-engineer your internal flight systems for mission success. Today's briefing is a full system diagnostic on why your relationships fail to achieve stable altitude. This isn't about finding the one. It's about building a vessel capable of the journey. Buckle up. To understand relational failure, we must run diagnostics across 3 interconnected axes: the hardware, the software, and the navigation. Let's begin. Axis 1, psychology. This is your hardware. The physical, neurological system that processes reality. Your nervous system. We can model this system as the balloon itself, the envelope, and its supporting cables. According to John Bowlby's attachment theory, our earliest relational bonds program our system's security threshold. These bonds are the cables connecting your basket, your conscious self, to the envelope that holds you aloft. If your early calibration was inconsistent, if the cables were sometimes taut and sometimes slack, your system learns that connection is inherently unstable. This instability creates microscopic tears in the fabric of the envelope itself. We call this thermal leakage. It's a constant, low-grade drain on your vital energy, your sense of safety. You're losing heat before you even ignite the burner. So what happens when real intimacy presents itself? Intimacy increases the internal pressure within the envelope. For a secure system, this pressure creates lift. But for a compromised system, this pressure forces its way through those pre-existing micro-tears. Your nervous system detects this as a catastrophic failure in progress. It doesn't register love. It registers imminent breach. And it does what it's designed to do. It hits the emergency switch. It floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline. You redline. This is emotional flooding. The sudden urge to fight, flee, or completely shut down. Your hardware is screaming, danger, not because the new love is a threat, but because your vessel lacks the structural integrity to handle the pressure required for liftoff. Axis 2. Spirituality. This is your software. The operating system. The energetic frequency that dictates your reality. We're talking about the balloon's payload and its fuel purity. Your payload is your purpose, your potential. But to lift it, you need fuel. Not just any fuel, but high purity, high frequency fuel. The law of resonance dictates that your vibrational output must match your desired destination. However, most of us are running on contaminated fuel. We're caught in what I call the gravity trap. This trap is engineered by the karmic sandbags tethered to your basket. These are the dense, low-frequency energies from previous flight failures, the shame from a past betrayal, the guilt of a mistake, the ancestral belief that love is unsafe. Each sandbag is a data packet of unresolved energy. You are carrying the weight of every failed mission, and it's creating a gravitational pull that anchors you to low-altitude experiences. You can ignite the burner with all your might, but you're trying to lift dead weight. The math doesn't work. Liftoff requires a frequency match between your vessel's energy and the energy of a secure, thriving partnership. If your software is coded with unworthiness and fear, you will resonate only with partners who confirm that code. To change your flight path, you must first jettison the karmic load. Axis 3. Relationships. This is your navigation system. The dynamic interplay of energy between you and your partner. We're analyzing the burner valve and the airflow. The primary force of navigation in a relationship is polarity, the dynamic tension of yin and yang, masculine and feminine energies. This magnetic charge is what creates forward momentum. But in many long-term relationships, we observe a phenomenon called polarity decay. The magnetic charges neutralize. This happens when partners fall into homogeneous roles, suppressing their natural energetic core to maintain a false sense of harmony. The result isn't harmony, it's turbulence. Without polarity, there's no differential, no flow. The air becomes stagnant. The burner, your passion, your intimacy, relies on this flow. It's an engine that requires a precise mixture of fuel and oxygen. The oxygen is your communication. But if your communication link has low fidelity, if it's filled with noise like unspoken assumptions, passive aggression, and a failure to articulate needs, the burner is starved of oxygen. This is why the passion dies. You're not falling out of love. Your communication denoising protocols have failed, and you are suffocating the very flame that generates thrust. You must maintain a high-fidelity link to ensure the burner has the airflow required for sustained flight. Running diagnostics is mission-critical, but data is useless without a corrective protocol. Here are your orders. Grab a notebook. This is your pre-flight check. Protocol 1. System scanning. This is a diagnostic, not a judgment. First, the hardware scan. Power down your external inputs. Ask yourself, when I feel the approach of genuine intimacy, what is my system's primary default? Do I feel an anxious urge to grip the cables tighter? An avoidant instinct to cut them entirely? Or do I freeze, unable to process the input? Identify the specific trigger that sends your system to redline. Write it down. Second, the software scan. We are identifying your karmic sandbags. List the top 3 beliefs you hold about your worthiness in a relationship. Examples. I am too much. I will eventually be abandoned. I am not truly lovable. These are not truths. They are lines of code from a corrupted operating system. Identify them. Third, the navigation scan. Review your most significant past relationship. Map the timeline of its polarity decay. When did you stop leading or allowing yourself to be led? When did communication become noise instead of signal? Pinpoint the moment the airflow was compromised. Now, for the corrective action. Protocol 2. Frequency recalibration. This is your standard operating procedure for system repair. Step 1. Patch the envelope. To repair the micro-tears in your nervous system, you must implement a daily self-regulation protocol. Place one hand on your heart and one on your stomach. Take 3 deep, slow breaths. For 60 seconds, your only mission is to feel the sensation of your own hands on your body. This is a manual override that signals system secure to your hardware. It patches the thermal leakage. Step 2. Jettison the sandbags. Choose one limiting belief from your software scan. Close your eyes. Visualize it as a literal sandbag tied to your basket. See the rope. Now, manifest a tool in your hand. A blade, a laser, whatever feels powerful. In your mind, decisively sever that rope. Feel the somatic release. Feel the immediate upward pull as your vessel becomes lighter. Do this once a day. Step 3. Denoise the link. The next time you need to communicate a need, use this high-fidelity protocol. When X happens, the story I tell myself is Y, and I feel Z. For example, when I don't hear from you all day, the story I tell myself is that I'm not a priority, and I feel anxious. This is an accusation. It's clean data transmission. It purifies the airflow to your burner. Your mission failures are not a reflection of your worth. They are a reflection of a compromised system operating outside of its design parameters. Stop blaming the pilot and start re-engineering the craft. Your hardware must be patched, your software must be debugged, and your navigation must be calibrated. Only then can you achieve stable, high-altitude flight. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to run these diagnostics daily for the next 7 days. Report any systemic changes in the comments below. This is Captain Leanne, over and out.